Now, so we might as well say 10.
I mean, you just walk around. So I probably don't have a place to sit down. Probably going to
Your dad's this room is really long. Both of them. Why? Take a box.
Hello. Jai Satchidanand.
I know you are, but still, I just.
Yes, that's it.
My nails are clean.
Namo Vitragai.
Namo Vitragai.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Vajjayanam.
Namo Vasayanam.
Namo Loe Sava Sahnam.
Namo Loe Sava Sahnam.
Eso Panjanamukaro.
Eso Panjanamukaro.
Sava Pava Pranasano.
Sava Pava Pranasano.
Mangalanam cha Savesim.
Mangalanam cha Savesim.
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Paramam Havai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Okay, that's it. So, you are quite exposed to so many things. So I now expect that you start shooting questions. Rasi, just don't keep smiling. Say something.
Okay, I have a quick question.
Yes.
So Rena, right? She had a question just now with DoctorSaileshAnandji saying, your question was basically if you have a strong person coming forward to you,
You have strong what?
You have a strong prakriti coming forward to you and approaching you, and your prakriti becomes defensive.
Yes.
So she asked, what do you do in that situation? And so DoctorSaileshAnandji said, basically you take the other person's prakriti and you spin it and you use it as a positive influence to and benefit yourself to be not defensive. So how do you do that though? He didn't really say how you do that. It's like if you have a stronger prakriti coming to you, you basically, in my head it seems like you would have to befriend the person and kind of come on their level, but you feel defensive with them in your mind. Does that make sense? So how do you deal with
what I feel the normal attitude in reaction from us, from our end, is offensive. Normal reaction is offensive. But now, how would you be defensive in that case? What we understand by that, okay, the other person is very having strong prakriti, and what we mean very hard-headed egoism. It is possible. So, in this situation, if you try to offend that person at that level itself, it is going to end in a big clash. With this knowledge, what we mean with this understanding, we know that such clashes doesn't end up in any positive result. So what best you can do? Best thing to do is, now you are also very strong, you know. So now you have to understand the criteria. Number one, let's say if the person is older to you, which is possible, then it's an obvious reason that okay, he has the right to be like that. You understand?
What if you know you're right?
Huh?
What if you
You
know?
may be 100% right, but when someone is older to you, you have to handle that very carefully. So although you are right, I'm not saying no, you're right, but then you have to handle such that you don't end up in a clash. So it's like if something is wrong from their side, you can convey that very politely. But normally with our strong nature, we try to be very offensive. So it's like you can convey your message or your idea firmly with clarity. There's no problem. But if that ended only in difference that the ego clashes, then it is not correct. Do you understand? So you have to take a specific example. Let's say all these Abdul are older to me. I'm giving an example. And if there is something which I have to tell them, then maybe at one point of time they may feel that you have no right to say that. In a way, because I am younger to them. Okay, but I am right. So now I will try to be very positive and convey that this is what I think. Can you give me a little time? I want to discuss among ourselves that this is how, if we do it, will be better. So I explain to them everything, the results and all that, and I leave it to them. And still if they don't agree, it's fine. But I have put my case properly. So even if I am right, but I put it arrogantly, then it won't work. It will be rejected outwardly. You understand? Now let's take the case when you are older. The guy is younger that you are dealing with. Then here, at one point of time, you may act forcefully, but that may not work, which normally happens with parents and children. Don't you see that? Everyone experiences at home, right? Parents tell us, you don't do it. I'm not doing it. That's it. So now, what are parents going to do? Okay, maybe you will learn from your own experience and they just give up. Okay, but on other side, they can explain it to you. So you can explain it to the other person. And same way, explain how it will be good, how it will be bad, and leave it to the other person to make a decision. See, one thing is there. You cannot make anyone decide by just forcing them. No, it is not possible. Because everyone has that power to play his card. No one has any right. Same way Dada has done to us. He has given us Gnan. Now he said, now you learn to play your cards through the understanding of five agnas. And one thing is there. See, if I have to deal with that small kid, then I cannot act like a father. That means parental way I cannot act, because then he will always feel bad about it. Finally he will just cry. But if I deal with him as if like I'm a child, then I can get along very easily. You understand? That is how you will deal with the child. Same way the person, how the other person temperament is, you have to learn to deal that way. If the other person is, let's say, adult, so he or she will feel that you deal with me rationally. You cannot just force me, do it. No, I'm not going to do it. So if you rationally means you show every aspect of that thing and leave it to the other person. Then definitely that decision will be positive. In fact, my inner, I will not say belief, but my inner confidence always say, I normally have no problem dealing with anyone. Ultimately, you have to become like that. I may fail, but I will not just stay or run away from that situation. No, I'm not going to do it. Why don't you talk? Why don't you deal with that person? No. I consider that as a challenge. Because ultimately you will have to learn to settle amicably with anyone with whom you have an account. Okay. One thing, in principle, I don't want to hurt anyone. Number 2, I want to adjust. Number 3, I want to settle this file in an amicable way. With this understanding in background, I feel naturally your words, your behavior will come naturally very positive. You understand? But if I hold on to certain thing, no, this way only, then things don't work. And we have problem in close relations only. Okay. And one thing is that even if you are right, the other person don't agree with you, doesn't agree with you, then what are you going to do? Though you are right, it will come out in the future. So that person will realize in the future he or she is not accepting now. But if you try to insist now, you will have a lot of difference, you will have clash. Okay, so certain times you have to just leave it to the nature. Even after trying all your might, if things doesn't go through, leave it to the nature. And then the truth will come out. And then you don't even have to remind the person that, see, I had told you, but you didn't agree. No, that is already a lesson for that person. So next time when you deal with that person, he or she will always give a little thinking for you. Understand? It's a long-term process. One thing is there. What we should take care, no time our communication should break. So that much connection we should ensure. Very important. Whether they are kids, parents, friends, colleagues, your boss, is there.
So the whole, beyond just dealing with that person, what we were talking about was opinion. So when historically, so my question was, historically, when that person has come your way, it's shaken reed. And so how do you then approach that person without opinion? Because you know that in the past, so many times, that person has come, the person is there, and it's not a point of knowing truth that I know it, there's truth happening. It's my fault. The Vyavastik Shakti, all that is there. But the point at the end is that in the back of my mind, I know that even when things are calm or everything's good, relation, whatever, that it could happen. That thing could happen again where Rena is going to get, it's going to come to force and Rena is going to be shaken. So how do you remove that opinion at that time with that person?
Number 1, whatever had happened is, we are talking of the past.
That's right.
So not necessarily that it is going to happen again. Not necessarily at all. But you have to be careful, because last time it just ended up in a clash, in an explosion, which you don't want. So now itself you will ask for that inner strength, ask for Dada, ask from his own Shuddhatma that I don't want to hurt him. This is my basic criteria. But I need to talk to him because this is the situation and we are working jointly, so please help me out. So you will remain careful in even the words you use. Naturally it will happen because you have decided, I want to handle this file in an amicable way, no matter what. Right? That work is not important, actually, but your relation is very important. Okay, and then when you go, with that opinion would be there, but that won't come in your way. But with that opinion, you will remain always cautious inside, alert inside. Okay. And then it will happen, you will see it. See, when we are working with all this preparation, the whole episode takes a different picture, totally different outcome.
But that opinion is there.
It will go away. Because see, when you have changed, the other person has to change. Other person has to change means with you, he or she cannot do anything wrong. Because the world is our reflection. You were like that, that's how you came across that situation. Now you have changed inside. And you are going with a fresh understanding, with a fresh belief. It will change. It will really change. And when you are handling things with humility, it really pays back in a very good way. If you just recollect all our past interactions, at times we were so much arrogant. And inside we were just holding things together. And see, that thing definitely reflects in our dealing. And it reaches the other person. It is very important. However, you may be right. That's true. But then, if you are right, you have to convey that thing in such a way that they cannot escape. They cannot put aside. That is how you have to take care.
But again, I'm not even worried about being right or wrong and all that. It's that fear and opinion that doesn't go away.
That something like certain thing, it goes with the nature of your mind, speech and body. That you cannot escape. But with this understanding, you can easily overcome. What is your belief on which, the founding belief on which you want to interact now? I don't want to hurt that person. Right? Second thing, I want to handle this fight in an amicable way. I want to adjust to that person. See, the outcome will be totally, and with Shuddhatma vision, pure soul vision, you are interacting with the person. It will have a different impact, totally different impact. And in the bargain, you will learn all your mistakes, how and where you all went wrong. And you will correct all those. And that will definitely have a positive effect on that. And after all, we can have only one opinion about everyone, that he or she is by relative viewpoint, period. That's it. Period means you cannot change that person, but you have to change yourself such that there is amicable settlement. That is all. And that is part of drama only. It's not going to last forever. Because that person is not going to be with you forever. They may stay for a longer time, but they are never forever. Right? A relative itself means it was not there, it is there, and afterwards it won't be there. So what you need is all these relative needs, temporary adjustments. They are temporary and they need adjustment. And during that phase of adjustment, what you have to pass through as individual, suffering. And this suffering now is not applicable to us, because we are not the sufferer. We are the perceiver of the suffering and the sufferer. We can understand the suffering, we can perceive suffering, but it is very difficult to observe the sufferer. And when you learn to observe the sufferer, the suffering won't be experienced at all. You understand? It is a wonderful thing. You will be able to observe yourself objectively, totally. Yes?
I just want to add something to that one. From my experience, what I do is if something doesn't work, in the end I say, after all, he's a good man.
Yeah.
I always end up saying that, or whenever it comes to me, or someone comes to me, then I would say, after all, he's a good man, let me do it. And then it works out.
But why is that person a good man?
Because he is not the doer.
Huh?
Because he is not the doer. And his prakruti is...
No, it is our account that is coming in front of us.
Yeah.
So, however he may be good or bad, he has no right to do anything to us unless our account speaks.
We talked about belief and opinions in our earlier session. Are your beliefs? I feel like your opinion comes from some of your beliefs. Our
Your
beliefs
opinion?
comes from beliefs sometimes. And are your beliefs? Are you a part of your prakriti, or you get your beliefs as you grow through your parent, through your parents, through your family,
Your circumstances.
or family? So
Your circumstances.
okay, so that's how your beliefs are
You
formed.
may be born with a certain kind of belief, but as you grow and come across different circumstances, your belief changes. That's how things change, and that's why they don't agree with their parents what they believe. Well, yeah, that's one.
And your opinions form along with those
Yes,
beliefs.
yes. And they change also.
Yes.
In fact, after coming to Dadaji and satsang, our life has changed totally. Especially when you interact with different people, don't you see them? That you have been dealing with that person for a long time. You see them changing. It definitely changes. As you grow, things change. As we understand things, we change. The finality is that there is no problem dealing with anyone, anytime, no problem. See, the reason behind that is you will come across someone only if there is an account. So, if it is your account, let's say if it is your account, number one, is that really your account? If you say it is your account, when did you build that account? Your daughter has just come to you. Okay. You will see that none of your traits or her mother's traits are there in her. Isn't that a confusion for you? Yes, but you are still dumb by the nature. She's your daughter. And you say, my daughter, our daughter. Right? So, that is the problem. When you say, she or he is my daughter or my son, that is the biggest problem. So, if you say that grammatically, it's fine, no problem. So, whatever she does or he does, you won't get affected much. But that when that mindness is there, you will start claiming and expecting certain things that, oh, my daughter, she has to be like this, like this, like this. And now that she's growing up, she's expected to be nice and all that stuff, but she's still naughty and everybody is looking at us, staring at us. It's possible. Possible. You want your children to be good, very nice, so everyone praises you, oh my God, what wonderful son you have, what wonderful daughter you have. There's so many things that works in our mind. But the only thing, what is your responsibility is give her a good life, good understanding. That's how, because she is going to be or he is going to be an independent person, finally. So it is our duty to nurture them such that they grow as independent, perfect individual. Other belief part, it will come and go. But basic beliefs with which she can grow, she remains positive, she mingles with everyone, no problem. You can see some other kids. They can just go and talk with anyone. You know, the other day, who's that bowing by son, that small guy, Ankit, he went, what is your name? Taru naam શું છે? He had no fear, like, whatever it is, but that's good, you know. So, of course, when the kids start going to the nursery and all that, they open up very nicely. And that's good. We are born with certain beliefs, but as we grow, things change. And as you change and you are more adaptable to situations, you don't have any problem. No problem. And the base thing, our understanding of this science will help you a lot. A lot. So the idea behind progress or growth is how would you go about doing it? Self-observation. The idea, very fact that we have realized ourselves separate from these mind, speech and body, better be learn to separate yourself first and then see yourself. Like how this video is going on, same way you keep watching yourself. And that observation itself will bring so many changes naturally. If you come to know that, okay, if you do certain thing in front of your daughter, she's going to catch up all those things. So you have to remain very alert. Because she's watching you both, what all you do during the day. So that's very important. And there is also a saying that if they are asleep, and if you talk something and do something, don't think that they don't know. Very important. Very important. So, all our vibrations, they reach them. That's why we have to be careful. And imagine we have passed through all those phases and how they will get that impact on them, effect on them. And it happens with everyone. Whatever we think about others, it matters.
DeepakAnandji, how do you deal with all the cultural differences within reason? Like, Richard might have a viewpoint, my parents might have one way,
Yes,
my
it
in-laws
always,
might have, I
see,
might have
it's
one
like
way.
when I'm dealing with you, I'm dealing with you only. But the moment I deal with Ruchi, then I'm dealing with him. I should not mix up with what I do with Ruchi and you. No, then there are a lot of problems.
Well, what do you do with everybody's opinions and like,
It's
what?
possible every opinion means you are driving on a road with a different speed limit. Don't you accept the speed limit? You accept. Stay within the lane, follow the speed. That's how you don't get stuck there. But if you don't accept that speed and try to speed up, let's say, then the guy will stop you. You are lucky, it's okay, you're done. But no. Okay, so that's how. Whoever we come across, we have to learn to adjust to their viewpoint. And how long you have to be like that? 2 hours, 2 days, 2 years? That's all. Nothing is permanent. But that is the time of your suffering, that although you don't agree to those things, the opinion, those beliefs, but you have to live like that. If someone is in military, he has to follow certain discipline. Is there any escape from that? No. If you are at work and let's say it's a kind of setup wherein you need certain discipline, you follow that discipline. Because certain times when you are given certain things in return, you accept all that. But at other places, when we don't really find something in return, then we want to my way. Why not? But what do we get in return dealing with people? Amicable settlement. Because we have account with that person, with that quality actually. Nothing to do with that person, but he becomes an instrument for us, for our settlement. That's the only thing. But because it is coming to some individual, we have to keep in mind that individual for our correction. That's the only thing. And if you know that it's not going to be forever like, let's say, at home, whatever the kind of nature your mother-in-law has, and whatever kind of nature your mom has. So you have to live differently because these are different speeds, different kind of roads. So you cannot compare. There is no reason to compare. And even if you try to compare, no answer. You won't have any solution. The only solution is that this is the road, this is the speed, follow the speed and get going. Simple. Maybe it will take 2 minutes, 2 hours, that's it. And then, see, from inside, you are free as yourself. So what you need to tame your mind with, that is puja, it's just temporary adjustment. I am there with you, so why do you worry? These are things you cannot avoid. But if you learn to adjust, you will learn a lot in the bargain. In the sense, you will know that as much you remain adamant with others, that's how people want you to do certain things. And the way we do at certain places without and against our wishes, here also you don't forget it. And when you do heartily, things will change totally. You won't have any problem. That's how we go to different places and we adjust. Otherwise what? We just cannot. But our goal is what? We want to progress, learn from our mistakes. That's it. Otherwise every individual is a wonderful individual. You are dealing with the living God.
DeepakAnandji, we have our opinions and beliefs and everything, and we try to change them with every experience. Now, if the person that you're trying to adjust with has consistently proven you wrong in the same kind of situation, okay, and then we say that okay, one time they'll fall, they'll understand, they'll not repeat the same situation next time. You gave your opinions, you said okay, if we do things this way, this will happen. Now, if that consistently happens, how long do you have to keep on doing that, and when do you forcefully bhale dukh lage to lage and you do things your way? Then at that point you come to a situation where you say it is either my way or the highway, or that kind of situation.
It is possible, but let us take the other example. There's so many things he has to pass through. And we have seen that in all those situations, he has come out with a new experience. So just doing things our way will not open our experience. That what is that experience? How you will be able to handle that situation amicably, because that situation was damaged by you only. And if you have handled it nicely, you will come out with an experience, solid experience. What is that experience of separating yourself in that tricky situation, handling that situation in an amicable way, both leave. So the principle goes like this. We get confronted by viewpoints. So we understand the viewpoint. We adjust to the viewpoint. So there is no clash on our interaction side, and we still remain in the center. Then you will not elaborate yourself, oh, I did so many adjustments and you are not doing anything. No. You cannot expect the roads to change. We change. Steering is there in our hand. Control is there in our hand. And that is how we work and act through our free will by following the precepts. Agna, amicable settlement. Okay. So at times we can blow our heads off like that by forcefully doing certain things, but that's not a permanent solution. Again, you have to come back and resolve, correct yourself. It can happen, but that's never the solution. Amicable settlement means the other person is always very happy, and